Is it bad if I want to stop being married to my wife of 20 years, because I found out she cheated on me when we were dating? My wife, 44F, and I, 43M, have been married for 20 years. We started dating when I was a junior in high school, and she was a senior. We were apart for her first 2 years of college, while I finished high school and did a year at community college. Then we spent a year in the same city for college before living together. We got married after I graduated college. Our marriage has been mostly good, but I decided to get a divorce after finding out she was sleeping with other guys during our long-distance years. Just after Christmas, we hung out with some of her college friends to catch up. My wife mentioned that we met in high school, but not that we dated. One of her old roommates started talking about our college years, and my wife shut it down, saying she was uncomfortable. That made me suspicious, so I told everyone we actually started dating in high school. It got super awkward, and later, one of her roommates told me I should talk to my wife about what happened in college. On the way home, I asked my wife about it, but she brushed me off. I insisted it was important, but she still didn't want to talk. So, I told her I'd stay at my brother's until she was ready. The next day, she admitted to sleeping with several guys in college, because she didn't think our high school relationship would last. She said it wasn't a big deal at the time. But I couldn't handle it and told her I wanted a divorce. Now, her family and mine are saying I'm overreacting and shouldn't end our marriage because of her mistakes. But cheating on me with so many guys and still being friends with some of them is too much disrespect. Our kids are 17 and 19, and I believe they'll understand why I need to leave. Am I wrong for wanting out? It feels like everyone's telling me to ignore years of infidelity and lies. Edit, thanks for the responses. I'm glad I used a throwaway, because this blew up more than I expected. I can't respond to everyone, but here are some details. My wife and her friends say it's normal to sleep around during long-distance relationships, but I feel like I'm being gaslit. I wanted an outside perspective before finalizing the divorce. We saw each other a couple of weekends a month during her college years, so it wasn't like we were completely apart. The guys she slept with were mostly from parties. I don't know if they knew about me, because we didn't talk about it. One of the guys she slept with is still in our lives, because he married a mutual friend. He claims he didn't know we were dating at the time and blocked my wife on social media. Her roommates didn't realize we dated in high school, because our wedding reception didn't have those typical "how we met" speeches. I was open to therapy, but my wife insists I'm overreacting, which makes it impossible to reconcile. She only showed remorse when I started filing for divorce. I won't get a paternity test unless my kids want one. I love them no matter what and don't doubt they're mine. Final edit, thanks for the responses, but things are getting too crazy for me to keep up. I won't be checking back. But thanks for the helpful advice, even if you disagree. I'll still consider therapy for co-parenting and closure, not to save our marriage. Update, 28 days later. Don't forget to subscribe for more Reddit stories. Hey guys, I wanted to give you an update because my last post got a lot of attention. So, my wife and I have been going to this counselor together, and we've had 3 sessions already. But even after all that, I'm still going ahead with the divorce. Don't get me wrong, counseling was a good idea, and I appreciate everyone who suggested it. But it's not going to save our marriage. However, it did help me tell my feelings better and helped my wife understand me more. Most importantly, it's helped us figure out how to be good parents even if we're not together. First off, let me tell you what I found out about what happened in college. After talking to my wife and texting her roommates, it's pretty clear they knew something was off back then. They thought there was cheating going on, but my wife told them we had some wild times and worked through it before we got married, so they never really brought it up. One of the roommates felt bad about it recently and wanted me to know. As for those times when my wife introduced me to guys she slept with, that wasn't on purpose. One of the guys ended up dating and marrying one of our friends from college. The other times, she blamed me at first in counseling, but she's agreed it was wrong now. When I went to visit her, she planned to hang out alone, but I wanted to go to parties. She didn't expect me to meet those guys, but they were there, and she felt stuck. It's still not great, but not as bad as her doing it on purpose. Most of our counseling sessions have been about why I see it as a big deal, and she doesn't. At first, she said those guys weren't really in relationships with her, so it wasn't a big deal. But now, after talking to friends and digging into it more, she gets that it was a big breach of trust. That's helped us talk more openly about it. But here's why I'm sure about the divorce. First, about 10 years ago, we had a rough time, and our sex life went downhill for 2 years. She wanted me to try things that reminded her of other guys, but when I did, it made her feel awkward and guilty. Second, she admitted to flirting with coworkers since the pandemic ended and even went on a date. That was it for me. We told our kids about the divorce, but we kept it simple. Our daughter asked if I cheated on my wife during college. My wife admitted she's the one who cheated. We agreed not to share more with the kids. I told them we'll both be there for them, and they can talk to us or a therapist if they need to. We started talking to a mediator about the divorce, and it looks like it'll be amicable. We're both okay financially, and custody isn't a big issue since our kids are older. It's been a rough couple of months, but I'm doing okay now. I'm grateful my last post got so much attention because it helped me make some tough decisions and pushed me to go to counseling with my wife.